good, YouTube? So I'm back at you guys with another video today. I'm kicking off the series discussing racial injustice. I'm going to be talking about some of the experiences that I've went through at a PWI. If you don't know, that means a predominantly white institute. I'm going to be having people come on and talk about their experiences, just do one-on-one interviews. They're going to be talking about what situation happened, what you could take away from it, what you can learn from it, and how it can apply to your everyday life. Before we get into the video, I want to start off by saying rest in peace to Dre'Jon Reed. If you don't know about the case that's going on in Indianapolis right now, a young black man was shot while he was fleeing away from the cops. He was shot in the back multiple times, and there needs to be justice. So we're going to demand justice. I'm going to leave a link in the description below, just giving you guys some ways that you guys can help out. So let's get into the video. All right, so I'm going to be talking about a situation that occurred while I was at DePauw. For those of you that don't know, I started off my first 2 years of college off at DePauw. It's a little small private school in Greencastle, Indiana. The population is probably about 2,000 to 3,000 students, I guess you could say, of the people on campus. So this story just starts off back with just me, just having fun at the rec center with a couple of my friends. If you don't know me, I hoop a lot, and I find it as like a stress relief. But we'll get into that later. That's a discussion for another video. But for the sake of this video, I was hooping with some friends, and the interaction is going to take place following leaving the gym. So we finish up hooping, me and my buddies, and we're talking about different things that are going on. We're like on campus at this time, a minority, and we're talking about the racially heated campaign of Donald Trump and how it'd be crazy if he actually got elected. And just like we were at this point, Donald Trump has said some things, the whole situation about grabbing the woman by her privates or whatever, the whole situation regarding him charging his black tenants more than like their white counterparts, just situations like that. Like Donald Trump has like a history of racism at this point. Just wanted to make that clear. Granted that a lot of people didn't know about these things, but just wanted to make that clear that for these conversations, they know that Donald Trump is a messed up person, because it's not gonna leave an issue of like they know he's racist for this particular video. So we're leaving campus and we're talking about how like the election is going on and like Donald Trump's campaign and how it's kind of messed up how he's actually has an opportunity to be in a position of power in a place that we call America, where it's supposed to be free and like racism is supposed to be this thing of the past. So we're talking about how like I'm like, man, this is messed up. I don't see a man like this getting in the office. Like I think I just really didn't see it happening. Like it was crazy that it made this far is what we were saying. But we were like, man, it'd be crazy if he actually got elected. So he went on giving this rant talking about how like he agreed that it'd be messed up and like there's really no place in this country for like racism or anyone that like supports it or brings it out of the people as a whole. So we got talking about that, and the next thing he said to me was at the end, he kind of like changed his tune a little bit. He was like, hey, like, you know what? I don't care. Like he had this thing, like he was thinking through it, like, man, all these things are messed up, but they don't apply to my life. Like I'm not a black guy. I'm a white kid. It doesn't bother me. So we got to talk about how nothing was going to bother him and how like none of the racist topics that occur in America like affect him in any way, shape, or form. So he kind of just at the end of the conversation was just like, I know it's messed up for you, but I don't care. Like it doesn't affect me. And that kind of left me puzzled, because I was like, how could you call yourself a friend or associate with black and other minorities if you don't care about what happens to them? I just thought that was really insensitive and really messed up. So that leads me to my point today of discussing white privilege, the ability for people who are white to ignore issues that affect everyone else. Because when it comes to race, there are a lot of things you guys can just turn a blind eye to or ignore simply because you're not going to be affected by them if you just ignore that they're happening. And I think it's a necessity for white people to be involved, like in this movement, or people of all colors to be involved in like the movement that's going on right now, because it's not only an issue of race that just affects black people, it affects America as a whole. Like you should take pride in being a country that supports freedom for not only white people, but for people of all races, if that makes sense. And so I just think like first thing, you should acknowledge your white privilege and acknowledge that there's a difference, because how you're going to fix an issue if you don't know that there is an issue? That makes sense, that you're treated differently, that you don't have to deal with different things like over policing by the police or being more prone to go to jail. You know what I mean? Like black men are way more likely to go to prison than a white male because of overleasing and all these other issues that affect the black community. All right, so after you acknowledge your white privilege, I think it's important to figure out which ways you can help or be an ally. Now is a perfect time to talk about being an ally in a time where you see people like protesting and doing other things. Like protesting is cool, it's a great way to be an ally too, but there are other things you could do that I feel like are way more important. So that starts with like your home life. Like people are taught racism. Racism isn't just something you're born with. You know what I mean? Like when you're a kid, you are like really young, like kindergarten, you're not worried about the skin color of your friends unless you've been taught that. So I think the first things first is like taking that information that you have, acknowledging white privilege, and discussing racism with those at home, your family members, people that may be racist or may still be able to spread that racism, because that right there is like the source of it. People that are passing it down from generation to generation. That's why racism is never going to be completely gone, or you know what I mean. They're never going to be able to completely eradicate it, because you're gonna have those people that constantly pass it down from generation to generation. So that's why I say it should be your job as an ally to go home and talk to your family members, your cousins, your grandparents, your mom, your dad, your brother, sister, and make sure you guys are all on the same page and trying to be an ally. The thing is, like, it's just for equality. Like, I shouldn't have to ask you. It should just be something that like you should do. You know what I mean? Like, we all just want to be equal and be free. All right. So in conclusion, I just want to say that I hope this has been a great learning experience. I hope that people can learn from this. I hope they can learn to be an ally and how to find ways to eradicate racism and the idea of thinking in racist ways. I hope there's enough evidence or enough examples to show you how to navigate a situation like that for just any and everyone that's been in any type of situation that's similar. I hope that I can help at least one person. Also, once again, link will be in the description for ways to help with the Drejon Weed case and ways to just help out. Thank you guys for checking out the video. There will be another video coming soon. I'm not completely sure what's going to be next, but it will be a great video. Like I said, Jalen, me, and my little brother, we have reaction videos on the way, just the different things. And then also we have interviews coming up with different people discussing their experiences with racism. And then also them giving an example of how to fight that situation or how to navigate that specific situation. Give you guys some pointers and some ways to just navigate different experiences, okay? All right, peace out, YouTube.